Yeah, so our job is really to try and make a game that allows you to do anything you want inside of the sort of world of Roller Coaster Tycoon. Uh, we don't want to put limits on on what you can do, right? We really just want to create this amazing environment and then give you the tools to go ahead and customize it to your greatest sort of degree. Yeah, so actually, if we want, I can sort of take you guys through it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. So what you guys are looking at here is a sandbox mode. It's actually a park built by the general manager of the studio, Kim. She's off camera as well. She built it earlier this week. This is a development build. I do want to stress that. So there's still a lot for us to do, but we're really happy with the game, the way the game is looking right now.
I got to pause you just for a second, guys. This is a all-time record. I'm looking at the Twitch numbers right now. We're over 1,000 viewers right now. 1,000 viewers. All right, go ahead. Let's keep the hype going. Let's keep it going. I'm sorry.
We're gonna get higher. I mean, this is the good. Keep the hype going. So, yeah. So what we're looking at here is a demo. Sorry. What we're looking at here is it's essentially like if you were to play the game earlier this week and you were in the sandbox and you saved it and you loaded it up here at PAX, this is what's going on, right? So Andy here is kind of driving us through. He's showing you what the game looks like. It's rendering at almost a 4K. I think this screen might be just shy of 4K, but it does work in beautiful 4K. You know, it's really important for us to build a game that works for the next 10 years, right? You know, that's where we want to make sure that it sets up just the next level of the franchise, right? So what Andy's showing you here on the screen is just one of our hay rides. We wanted to build rides that certainly emulate what you see in real life, but for a variety of reasons, both fun and otherwise, we don't want to copy them exactly. At least not in this version of the game yet.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So he can actually show you there that you can see the power supply to that ride, right? We want people to realize that this is a real sort of theme park. We want you to be enveloped in the game, so we're adding that extra level of realism. And he'll scroll over to the wooden Western wheel here, another one of our rides. I love the way it looks because you can actually see the sort of individual bolts.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like the detail within that seat is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the peeps are bouncing around a little bit. I get that. We have a couple months
early.
still.
Yeah, yep.
A couple months still left to go. To Q4 2015 is over. But yeah, so that Western wheel, we made sure that we went in and detailed all of the individual bolts, right? Just really sort of paying attention to the details because, quite frankly, that is what our fans asked for, right? And yes, I noticed some of the comments. People are saying the people are moonwalking around the theme park. Yeah, that's our moonwalk mode here for PAX, aka development build mode. I get it. That will certainly not be the case.
So when it comes to attractions that you can put into your park, water rides possible?
Yep. So a lot of people have been asking about water rides. We have water in the game. That's all I'm going to say for now. But yeah, actually, this is a good segue. I like this. It's good. This is going to work. So we're going to pan over to the side of the park here, and we'll show you some stuff that actually wasn't on the floor demo. We're going to do some terrain deformation. It was locked in the floor demo. It's going to be unlocked. It's unlocked here in the build that we're using for this. So what Andy's showing you is we've removed the grid in the game. What that means is you can literally modify the terrain in any way you want. You can modify the paths. You can place the rides any way you want. You can place the coasters almost any way you want, right? So it's kind of just lifted the limits on the building of the game. So then what he's doing here is digging holes. Andy loves to dig holes and build some mountains for us. You can paint the terrain with a bunch of different textures. You can drag paths over them. That's what he's doing now. You'll notice that it's automatically putting the supports. Of course, you can go up and down with the paths just like you would want to. That hole can be filled with water. The roller coasters reflect really beautifully over the water, right? We want to make sure the game just looks amazing.
That is cool to just to do outside of the park, right? So I can now get a very cool and unique viewpoint. Maybe when I'm riding in first person, that I'm able to change the environment outside of the park. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, in this game, you can ride every single one of the rides. You can ride every single one of the coasters. And I'll show you, like, we've made sure that the rides look good both inside and out because that's yet another layer to the game. And I do notice some people are like, yes, great, the grid is gone. But we've had actually a lot of interesting feedback while we've been here. People are like, well, what about if I really want to make everything really straight and I want 90-degree and 45-degree angles? And we're like, oh my God, you asked us to remove the grid. What do we do? That said, we actually have an on-demand grid that you can generate as you playing the game. And depending on what building mode you're in, you just hit the G button on your keyboard, and it will generate a grid right in that spot and lock it to that. So if you do want to build that perfect park, you can do that. And also, I noticed someone asked about the size of the parks. So Andy's going to place this ride for us. It's the gravity flux. Right, and then he's going to zoom out. This is the full size of the park that you see here, right? You can build that in that entire space. But we've limited the PAX demo to this little area because, honestly, it's a little overwhelming when someone goes up to a laptop over at the NVIDIA booth and they're like, oh my God, I have all this space. What do I do? So this is a sandbox mode. It's one of 3 modes in the game. There's a scenario mode and campaign mode. But in the campaign mode, there is a fence and it expands as you play, sort of like a linear breadcrumbed campaign. But we put it here in this sandbox just for the purposes of the demo. So I don't want people to be afraid that the park isn't as big as they would hope. It's actually bigger than it's ever been before. So okay, back to the cool stuff. So back to the rides. So this gravity flux ride is one of over 30 flat rides in the game, that's a great number to start with. You have a lot to do there.
Yeah.
So what he's showing you is that it's detailed both inside and outside the ride. That's, like I said, because you can ride every single one of them.
Yeah. So we're able to ride everything. Are we able to just walk through the park in that first-person view also?
So you can attach a camera to the front of a Peep and experience the park as he's experiencing it, right? We know there's a lot of content creators that love just sort of recording what they've made, right? And that's definitely part of that, right? Like, how do you experience the park as a guest? And so, yeah, that's why we've paid attention to this detail. I mean, if Andy's just shows you the light reflecting off of the ride, you can see that's some of the, actually NVIDIA tech that we put in the game that allows it to look like a real sort of texture on that ride.
Awesome. Now, within this demo, are we able to ride something yet, or is that not
in this
yet?
Demo.
Okay.
That said, maybe if you guys invite us back later this fall, we might be able to do a little first-person stuff.
Absolutely, yes. So I see you guys asking. I asked the question. It's not ready in this build of the game, but as soon as it is, absolutely, you guys have an open invitation, to come on.
Awesome.
And when you're ready to reveal the next set of stuff, they've got to keep things in their pocket. This is the first time we really can't show you everything, but you will be able to ride it. That's gotta last for some time.
Yeah, that's actually a key point. So there are a lot of things that are sort of disabled for this build because, like you said, you got to market the game somehow, right? So there's a couple of big reveals planned for later this year. We're really happy that we're able to show off so much of the building aspects of the game right now, and then you'll see a lot of cool stuff come as we kind of go through the fall. So
this game's been in development. You got a lot of work. We can see there's been a lot of work put in here. We're right now at that transition where Win 10 just came out, DX12 support. Is that something you guys have talked about? Is it we want to finish the game that we have in our heads ready, and then we'll consider talk about DX12? Or have you guys already made that commitment to DX12 support?
Yeah, so it's an interesting tech question. Actually, it's a great question for Andy, who is off camera, our technical director. So I get to be put on the spot for this one. But so the game is built in Unity 5.1. So we support typically what they support, right? DX12 is something new, so we're still looking at that as a technology. That said, the game will definitely work on Windows 10. I can say it works on SteamOS as well, actually. So if you want to go buy a cool Alienware Steam box, there you go.
Yes.
You can actually sit down in front of a TV and play the game. We have Steam controllers back at the office that we've been testing out the game out, and I'll point out how actually making sure that the game works on a controller has simplified the coaster building to make it so easy to build really cool stuff. We'll get to that in a second. I still want to focus on the flat ride, so Andy, don't go away for that. Don't come back. But yeah, we were demoing the game at Gamescom to press, and we actually did it on a TV. And it was cool. It's like the first time you ever sat in front of a TV and experienced Roller Coaster Tycoon. It totally sort of changes the experience. So yeah, so coming back to our demo, what you see here is a flat ride. Andy's put a bunch of scenery around that ride, because if he actually clicks the ride, you'll see this sort of green sphere of influence pop up around the ride. The reason for that is because we do have a bunch of themes